Hey, what's up everyone? Blueridgesilverhound. It's been a while since I did a little rant video, but it's high time that I had discussed something that is wildly important. As my channel grows in popularity and I get more subscribers, thank you by the way, I'm pressing both my hands together like praying, thank you to everyone, by the way. You guys are fantastic, you're wonderful, and I appreciate all the support. There's a great deal, a great number of you out there. It's not just about the subscribers, but you know what comes with the, the subscriber viewership and the following is that there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of comments. My apologies in advance if I don't get to them right away, if I don't get to them at all. Which kind of, there is one particular person that we're going to highlight. I'm not going to bring up his name, but I've been dealing with him for about the last, I don't know, 2 weeks. And one thing's for sure, it goes without saying in life, not just about coin collecting, but whatever you do in life, especially when it comes to money, okay? It's fair to say that you can't really make assumptions. All right, this individual, this subscriber, I think he's still a subscriber, because I'm still chatting with him, but he's not too fond of me right now because he was under the assumption that you could coin collect or coin roll hunt when you're broke. Hey, you know what, Blue Ridge, you throw up a good game. You put up all these coins that have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and you know what? I just want my piece of the pie. How do I get started? And I told him, well, it's a lot more than just going to the bank and buying rolls and scouring coin dealer boxes and so on and so forth. It's a lot more to that. Okay, there's the educational aspect of it. There's the research that's involved. There's a myriad of different factors that go into coin collecting to where you feel like, it could be something that could pay dividends back to you. You could actually make money off of it. There are a multitude of different coin dealers, numismatists, researchers, professional educators out there today that there's a reason why they don't cover all the bases, is because it's such a broad field. If you had one professional educator that not only talked about US coins, but also talked about colonial coins, foreign coins, bullion, you name it, I guarantee you that one individual will probably only scratch about 10% of the total informational surface of what is numismatics today. So, put me in that same category. What the heck do I specialize in? Okay, one thing I do want to specialize in is being the voice for a lot of new collectors, because, when we think of a hobby, okay, one of which goes back many decades, okay, coin collecting is very much on the top of that list. Okay, another one is stamp collecting. And we all know how popular or not stamp collecting is. It's kind of dying at this point in time. It's not even on the radar of anyone that has any sort of interest. And that's unfortunate. Stamp collectors have their own popularity base, albeit it's very small today. I would argue to say back in the 70s and 80s, it was at its pinnacle. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to blow a lot of hot air around you guys, but I'm just like a lot of you. And I'm a working class stiff. Same with my wife. I'm in sales, she's a nurse. We make a pretty honest living. I would say right now, based off of what I've done on my YouTube channel, okay, a lot of you know, it's no big secret, okay? I get paid off the monetization of the channel, obviously, and that's what a lot of people aim to do when they do this sort of thing. But it's not enough to just up and retire and live off of, not by a stretch of the imagination. And it's not because I live in California and putting that whole stigma of being in an expensive state has anything to do with it. It's just that where we're at in our lives, I can't possibly retire and expect to get paid by Google or YouTube. You know, it's just not that kind of money. It's supplemental money. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but you know, it's not something that, you know, I'm going to say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to buy a $70,000 pickup truck and a towable motorhome, and you know, I'm going to go across the country, you know, in my 40s. It just doesn't work out that way. I have a long ways to go before that happens. So this subscriber, this gentleman, okay, I gave him some pointers. Okay, you know, I said, first of all, you got to do a little bit of research. You got to know exactly what you're looking for, and you have to compartmentalize and focus in on one type of sector in coin collecting. Okay, and I said, you know, if you've never done it before, I would recommend picking up, you know, a box of pennies or a box of nickels at the bank. You know, it's a great way to, you know, learn about history, age, mint marks, you know, features of coins, you know, why they put presidents on coins and, you know, Lady Liberty on some of them. There's a lot to learn when you buy a $100 box of nickels from the bank. It truly is, because you get to see history play out as you sit there and thumb through each coin. So, you know, we got to talking, and, you know, he wasn't, not knowing a whole lot about the guy. Okay, not that he was in any sort of financial hardships. I don't ask stuff like that. It's way too personal. You know, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a stockbroker. You know, I don't work for Charles Schwab or E-Trade, you know, so I don't portend the future. I don't talk about investments, okay? You know, if I had to, you know, lay down the line, I would say coin collecting is far from a great investment. All right, if you don't use your head and you don't use the research and education that's out there. So, you know, I instilled as much as I could on him, okay, but it was up to him to kind of find everything else out on his own. You know, I said, hey, you need to grab a copy of this book. You need to check out these websites. All right, get to know what you want to do. Okay, so he wanted to focus on pennies. You know, I said, that's great. It's inexpensive. It's a great gateway to get into coin collecting, and, you know, so on and so forth. So he was all about it. Okay, so I haven't heard from him in, like, you know, a week or so. He sends me a message, you know, and you could tell, because you can't really tell the mood of someone if someone texts you, right? You know, especially if they don't use exclamation points, they don't put emojis on there, emoticons or whatever you call them, to kind of portray what you're feeling. So, you know, he talked like he was mad, like he was steaming, flaming mad at me. Yeah, I did what you said. I went to the bank and I bought $300 in dimes. Wait, time out. $300 in dimes, okay? Wouldn't you rather just buy a box? Well, that was all my money. That was everything I had. And I did not find one silver coin in there. I ended up bringing all this coin to the bank. I even got shorted some dimes in some of the rolls. By the time I factored in gas and everything like that, I lost out about $25. And my girlfriend's mad at me for it. She thinks it's silly. Oh boy. All I could do was bury my face in my hands. It took a good 10-15 minutes to kind of like think about, okay, what the heck went wrong? All right, again, it's not any of my business what anyone's financial situation is, because all I want to do is talk about coins. But the first thing out of the gate that I did say is, you know what? Coin collecting is not something that you could go into and spend the last bit of your bill money on No one in their right mind would do that. Even if you think you could go to the bank, pick up $1,000 in half dollars and expect to return back $1,000 as if it was free money to just search through, you are out of your mind. Have you thought about the intangibles? Okay, you're not just taking out $1,000 in coin from the bank. It's not, you know, it's on paper it seems easy because it's just basic math. But when it really comes down to it, let's say this is a local bank. At the very worst, because, you know, I like to be kind of optimistic about all this, it's a 10-minute drive to your bank. Okay, it's 10 minutes back to your house. All right, all in all, you probably spent about $3 in gas. Okay, now all of a sudden that $1,000 in coin is $1,003. So I had to kind of explain it in layman's terms. Okay, unfortunately, because of the way I was explaining it, I was making it not only about the practice of buying the coin from the bank, but it became more of a financial session. Okay, it's like you don't spend your last $300 if that's all you have to go on, because there's no guarantee in coin roll hunting. You guys know this, especially a lot of you regulars out there. People go through $10,000, $20,000 in half dollars and skunk out every single time. But it's not only about searching for the silver, okay, because there's double dies to be found, there's neat varieties, repunched mint marks, transitionals, errors. A cud error pays out $15, $20, but he wouldn't know any better if he doesn't know. So, and the next question is, why are you searching through dimes, man? Well, you said... I'm like, no, I didn't. I did not say. I did not bring it up. You must have heard that from somewhere else. Well, you know, I heard it from Facebook. You know, there was a Facebook group that people were chatting about their finds, you know, blah, 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 this and that. I'm like, then don't put this on me. If you're broke, don't do it. Anybody with you know, half a brain knows that you can't pursue something like collecting money of a sort without having a little bit of working capital. Now, it'd be fine if, say, he had $1,000 in the bank and then he had a few extra $100 to play with for coin roll hunting. Okay, that's a different story. But when you're spending and hemorrhaging the last $300 out of your bank account in the hopes that you could find 1 or 2 silver dimes, it just doesn't, you know, add up. So, you know, I wanted to talk about that. Guys, if you're working with little or no money, okay, you need to heed caution. I mean, to be quite frank and honest, you shouldn't even consider getting into coin collecting until you have the right financial frame of mind. Because just like anything else, it's hard work. Okay, the people that do this for a living knows it's hard work. You know, the traveling dealers, the guys that operate a storefront, the ones that operate a website. Okay, there's a lot of working, moving parts when it comes to these. And it's not as simple as just going to the bank, buying a box of coin, and expecting to double up. You know, this is not the casino. Far from it. Searching coin rolls through the bank is nothing like going through a slot machine, but it's more like playing craps. Alright? There's a reason why they call it craps. It's like you're flushing your money down the toilet every time you play, because the odds aren't good, you know? And that's the whole thing. You know, when you get into buying bankrolls, because you got to take in the human element of error into consideration, okay? You know what? If there's 50 pennies in there and the next roll has 48, you can't blame the bank for that. It is what it is. Especially when you're buying a box. You will be shorted a few pennies, but you'll also find some rolls where you're going to find a dime in there. Alright, so sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but just like anything else, when it comes to money, okay, you need to use discretion. You need to think about it with a level head. You need to do the research. If I say, and you agree to do pennies because it's a great gateway entry-level type thing to learn coin collecting, then that's what you should follow through on. Not saying, oh, you know, I went and bought dimes, and then, you know, you lose the shirt off your back. But anyways, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this. It's a little bit long-winded, but, you know, I'm not into finances, you know. I'm not a consultant when it comes to trying to figure out your bank statement or figuring out a budget, your 401k or 403b, whatever the case is. I'm not that guy. My wife is not that person. But, you know, we pay our bills together, and we know how to do it our own way. But I can't do that for you guys because that's not my profession. When the coin collecting thing goes, you know, I give you guidance and I give you encouraging news of phenomenal sales. You know, you could find something like this. Okay, not to say that you should go to the bank and spend the rest of your power bill on buying coin. It's, I don't know. Oh boy. But anyways, it was a lot of fun talking. Kind of wish I had someone to kind of retort back with questions, and, you know, almost like ESPN, I guess, where you have like 3 people on a panel talking to each other, and I don't know. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Definitely do not spend the last $200 out of your bank account just so you could say, hey, I did it, and then come to find out you lose out, because I won't feel bad. It's a common sense thing at this point. But anyways, rant and ramble aside, you guys have a fantastic evening. Yeah, more to come. Yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. Believe it or not, my wife had said, you need to buy more coins to talk about. I'm like, oh boy. How many wives or husbands or significant others actually say that? You know, that I didn't think in my wildest dreams my wife would say that. But anyways, thanks for joining in on this long, arduous convo. And, you know, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again for everything. All right. See you guys.